Good morning, students. In this session, today we are going to see History Unit 2 Great Thinkers and New Faiths. Intellectual Awakening. Intellectual awakening is nothing but starting to understand about how it involves a person's ability to think and to understand ideas and informations. The 6th century BC BCE is regarded as an important period in the history of ancient India. Historian Will Durant has rightly called it the shower of stars. 6th century is an important period of intellectual and spiritual development. So Mr. Durant, the philosopher and historian, uses the term shower of stars to refer the 6th century BC. Now let's see the sources of Jainism and Buddhism. Literary sources: Angas, Jain text; Tripitakas and Jatakas, Buddhist text. Angas are the religious texts followed by the Jains. The book says about the laws of life that are to be governed by the followers. It is one of the categories of Jain scriptures followed by the Swetambaras. They are considered to be Mahavira's direct preaching his original words in Prakrit language. Tripitakas is the name given to the Buddhist sacred scriptures and is made up of two words. Tri means three. Pitaka means basket. Three basket. Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Abhidhamma Pitaka are the three baskets. Jatakas means the tales or the voluminous body of literature native to India concerning the previous births of Gautama Buddha in both human and animal form. Causes for the rise of intellectual awakening and the birth of Buddhism and Jainism. There were several reasons for the rise of new intellectual awakening. The complex rituals and sacrifice advocated in the later Vedic period. There were several reasons for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Religious life in ancient India was originally very simple, but in the later Vedic period, complex rituals and ceremonies began to dominate the practice of worship. It was not acceptable to the common people, and it became expensive and elaborate. Blind faith and superstitious beliefs confused the people. Expensive sacrificial ceremonies, superstitious beliefs and practices that confuse the common man. Upanishads taught as alternative to sacrificial rites were too philosophical, which a layperson could not understand. Upanishad means to sit down or near one. As you already know that in the last unit you have learnt about Upanishad. It refers to the wisdom learnt at the feet of the Guru. The Upanishad are believed to have been composed between the 7th and 4th centuries BC. According to the Upanishad, the human body has a soul, the Atma, which survives even after the body dies. They believe that a person could reach God through bhakti. Slavery, caste system, gender discrimination also contributed to the new awakening. For example, Brahmanic supremacy. Priests considered themselves as superior and others as inferior. They took advantage of knowing Sanskrit and interpret religion according to their convenience. So many people started looking for an alternative religion, and this was one of the reasons for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Let's see the origin of Jainism. Jainism is one of the world's oldest living religions. Jainism grounds itself in 24 Tirthankaras. The first Tirthankaras was Rishabha and the last one was Mahavira. Jainism is a very old religion that began in India. There are about 4 to 5 million followers of Jainism, and most of them live in India. People who follow the religion are known as Jains. The word Tirthangara is nothing but a Tirthangara is the one who revealed religious truth at different times. The doctrines of Jainism were preached by saints or acharyas called Tirthangaras. Do you know, students, the word Jain derives from the Sanskrit word Jina, which means conquering self and the external world. Original name Vardhamana, place of birth Kundagrama near Vaishali, Bihar. Parents Siddharth Trishala, place of death Pavaburi, Bihar. Jainism gained widespread popularity under Vardhamana Mahavira. Vardhamana Mahavira was born around 599 BC near Vaishali in Bihar. Lord Mahavir was the 24th and the last Tirthankar of the Jain religion. He was the third child of King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala. Trishala, the mother of Lord Mahavir, had 14 dreams when Lord Mahavir was going to be born. They are depicted, and the indication of all these dreams was that the child to be born would be very strong, courageous, and filled with virtues. Vardhamana was married. When he was 30, he renounced his family ties to search for truth. He left his king family at the age of 30 when Lord received Diksha on the day of Magara Diksha Krishna Dasami. For the next 12 years, he meditated under Ashoka tree to attain his inner desires and feelings. He sacrificed food and took care that he won't harm any human or living kind. After which he attained enlightenment, he came to known as Mahavira. He spent the next 30 years of his life spreading his teaching to a large number of followers. Lord Mahavira's philosophies encouraged Satya, truthfulness, Ahimsa, non-violence, Asatya, non-stealing, Brahmacharya, chastity, Aparigraha, simple living. Lord Mahavir was also called by the different like Ativir, Sanmati, Varadamanan, and Veer. Mahavira, the great hero. Vardhamana, meaning prosperous, was a Kshatriya prince. At the age of 30, he renounced his princely status to adopt an ascetic life. After 12.5 years of rigorous penance, Vardhamana attained omniscience or supreme knowledge, known as Kevala. Omniscience. Omniscience is nothing but it is the ability to know everything or be infinitely wise. Jina. Jina meaning one who conquered worldly pressure and attainment. Students note it carefully. Omniscience is nothing but it is the ability to know everything or be infinitely wise. Jina means one who worldly pressure and attainment. His followers are called Jains. Jains believe in penance. To die of starvation was considered a virtue. This explains why Jainism had few followers. Mahavira reviewed the ancient Brahmanic traditions and came up with new doctrines. Therefore, he believed to be the real founder of Jainism. Freedom from the cycle of birth and death is called salvation, that is, moksha. For salvation, it is necessary to practice Tri Ratnas. Let's see the unique teachings of Jainism. Jainism denies God as a creator of universe. God is not a creator, preserver or destroyer of the universe. Basic philosophy of Jainism is ahimsa or non-violence. not to cause or harm to any living beings by thoughts, speech, or body, non-violence towards all living creatures in both thought and action. Ultimate aim of Jainism is attaining moksha or ending the cycle of birth, death, rebirth. Jains reject the belief in last judgment where God, a supreme being, decides who goes to heaven or hell. Jainism believes in Godhood but does not believe God to be the first cause. God does not punish or reward. Each person is responsible for improving life by one's self endeavor. Each person is capable of achieving Godhood. Jainism advocates that the goodness or quality of one's life is determined by one's karma. All living beings have souls and are equal. All life is sacred. Therefore, living in peace and harmony is essential. Their ultimate goal of life is to be free from all karma. Do you know, students, what is meant by karma? The belief that a person's action in this line determine the quality of his or her later part of the current life and the next incarnation. It is nothing but what we experience in our present life is a result of our past actions. Three Ratnas or three jewels: right faith, right knowledge, right action. Right faith is nothing but seeing, hearing, feeling properly, and avoiding preconceptions and superstitions that get in the way of seeing clearly. And then, right knowledge. This means having an accurate and sufficient knowledge of the real universe. Right action. This means living your life according to Jain ethical rules to avoid doing harm to living things and freeing yourself from attachment. Jains believes that a person who has right faith and right knowledge will be motivated and able to achieve right action. Many Jains believes that a person without right faith and right knowledge cannot achieve right action. And then moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Moksha is the ultimate goal of personal spiritual development for Jainism. In the Sanskrit language, moksha means freedom. According to Vedanta, life is an endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth into a physical universe. Let's see the Jain code of conduct. Mahavira asks his followers to live a virtuous life, that is, with moral and ethical principles. The code of conduct for monks and nuns. Monk is nothing but a monk is a man who devoted all of his life to a religion. But in English, a woman who does the same is called as nuns. Five major principles. Ahimsa. Ahimsa means not to cause any living beings by thoughts, speech, or body. Non-violence towards all living creatures in both thought and action. By simply we can say not to injure any living beings. Second one, Satya. To speak truth. To speak the harmless truth only. Astya. Not to steal. Not to take anything that is not properly given. Aprigraha. Not to own property. A complete detachment from people, places, and material things. Brahmacharya. Celibacy. Do you know, students, who is called Gautama Swami? Gautama Swami, a chief disciple of Mahavira, compiled the teachings of Mahavira called Agama Siddhartha. He is also referred to as Guru Gautama, Gautama Gandhara, and Gautama Swami. Jainism. Jains are divided into two major sects. One is Digambara and other one is Swetambaras. Digambaras are orthodox and conservative followers. Digambaras believe that women cannot achieve nirvana or liberation directly. Because of its hard rules, Jainism could not become a religion of the masses. Its followers also got divided into two branches. Those who followed Mahavira's doctrines faithfully and gave up wearing clothes became famous as the Digambaras. Those who put on clothes came to be known as Swetambaras. Digambaras believe that women cannot achieve nirvana or liberation directly. Monks of the Digambara sect do not wear any clothing and live naked. They are forbidden to have any kind of possessions. Digambara monks cherish the virtue of non attachment and non possession of any material goods. Monks carry a community owned pichi, which is a broom made of fallen peacock feathers for removing and thus saving the life of insects in their path or before they sit. The Swetambaras are considered progressive. Swetambaras believe that women are equally capable of achieving liberation as men. In Digambaras, women are prohibited, but in Swetambaras, they allow women. Monks of Svetambara sect wear white robes. They are permitted to have Rajaharana, broom with swollen threads, begging bowl, and book. Svetambara subtraditions covers their mouth with a white cloth to practice ahimsa even when they talk. By doing so, they minimize the possibility of inhaling small organisms. In next class, we will see about the reasons and influence of Jainism and also the noble truth and teachings of Buddha. Let's see today's activity. The Jain monks who wear white cloths are called dash. Who is the 24th Tirthangara of Jainism?